Do a barrel roll.
Welcome to the Know. I'm Ashley Jenkins.
I'm not Ashley. Ashley's back.
Yeah, that's right. I'm back.
I'm John.
That's better. Paying for more internet speed than you could possibly need in an entire lifetime, but you still find you're losing matches because of ridiculous pings that you shouldn't have?
Yeah, I totally am losing because of the pings and not because of my skill as a gamer. Well, according to a new lawsuit going to the New York State Supreme Court,
The Scort.
Also the Supreme Court. It's not because you need to get good. It could be
Although it is also that, but it's not
probably
only
is.
that.
But it could be the fault of latency sabotage thanks to greedy internet service providers.
Man, it's like you think the only thing you have to overcome is the people who are better than you, and nope, you have to overcome entire ISPs too.
It's a rough life.
Riot Games, developer of League of Legends, is teaming up with the New York Attorney General to take on Time Warner Cable, or rather, their new owners, Charter Communications. The AG has now filed an 87-page lawsuit.
It's probably a good read.
For bedtime, for sure. Alleging that Time Warner Cable has been ripping off customers and owe hundreds of millions of dollars in restitution.
That's why I'm stuck in gold for forever in Overwatch, and we'll never get out of that goddamn category.
Because it's the lag,
It's
right?
lag.
It's the lag's fault.
I don't use Time Warner. Much of the foundation of this complaint has been laid thanks to data from Riot Games and Netflix, interestingly enough, reportedly demonstrating that Time Warner Cable has purposefully throttled bandwidth for their servers, resulting in poor latency for gamers.
The complaint also states that Time Warner Cable worked to confuse and mislead the Federal Communications Commission about these actions.
If you can't tell, all of those allegations are a pretty big deal.
Pretty serious.
Because one, Time Warner Cable is the second biggest cable provider in the entire country. And two, they're being accused of not being honest with both their customers and the government.
That's a problem.
Bad to do that.
Apparently, this investigation has been going on for at least 16 months, with Attorney General Eric T. Schneiderman leading the charge. In a press release earlier this month, Schneiderman said, "The allegations in today's lawsuit confirm what millions of New Yorkers have long suspected. Spectrum Time Warner Cable has been ripping you off."
Yes, not just New Yorkers. We're all pretty sure everyone's doing it to us also.
But especially, his job is to
That's his
stand up
people.
for New Yorkers.
Yeah, so that 16-month investigation uncovered about 5 years of bad practices.
Only 5?
Yeah, they found 5 so far, finding that many customers were getting internet speeds about 80% slower than what they were actually paying for.
That's an awful lot of percent slower.
Yeah.
All right, so where does Riot Games actually play into all this? Well, they provided data straight from their servers about Time Warner Cable's performance, and it did not paint a very good picture of the cable provider.
About 70 pages into the lawsuit documents, Riot Games' part is outlined. The document states, in general, Riot Games specified a stable latency of less than 60 milliseconds and a packet loss of less than 2% to ensure a good network experience.
They go on to say, latency above 100 milliseconds affected performance in key parts of the game, creating lag time that puts Spectrum Time Warner Cable customers at a disadvantage to their gaming competitors on other ISP networks. Similarly, packet loss of more than 2% resulted in interruptions, buffering, and other performance issues.
Riot Games' analysis of the number found that Time Warner Cable subscribers did not enjoy a good network experience, and that's putting it simple enough, I suppose.
Yeah, the data showed that
I didn't have good internet experience.
it was bad.
Yeah.
The data showed that Time Warner Cable subscribers experienced significantly greater latency than subscribers of other internet service providers. And on average, subscribers regularly dealt with 100 milliseconds or more of latency, which, as we said earlier, was well above the threshold that Riot set as stable. What is this, dial-up? No.
As for packet loss, Time Warner Cable didn't do so well in that department either. According to the lawsuit, for most of the relevant period, the packet loss experienced by Spectrum TWC subscribers ran at or significantly above Riot Games' 2% threshold as well.
Now, the lawsuit is referring to data from a relevant period only, and that's because after summer 2015, the performance of the game for Time Warner subscribers did improve to optimal levels. So, sounds good, right? All's well that ends well.
No. The lawsuit claims that League of Legends was basically held under a performance ransom by Time Warner Cable, who said they'd fix the game's performance if Riot Games paid enough money. It's ransom!
That sounds familiar. Netflix. Riot Games did eventually agree to the ransom, by the way, in August of 2015, although admittedly not happily, and that's when things started improving. Following an undisclosed sum of money, Time Warner Cable subscribers got the same optimal experience that other internet providers' customers had been experiencing all along.
And they left it in a suitcase at an unmarked location at night.
In a train station.
Yeah. So this isn't the first time we've heard of this type of lag ransom from an ISP, but it's not often we hear about it about a video game. And a lot of that has to do with the scale that League of Legends is played compared to other online games. Last September, Riot estimated that as many as 100 million people were logging games each month.
Yeah, most of the time when we hear about ISP throttling, it has to do with our buddy Netflix. Now, Netflix infamously paid both Comcast and Verizon huge sums of money in the past after those providers throttled their service. Following their payment of Comcast, speeds for Netflix on that platform improved by 65%.
They got their money, I suppose. And even though they paid up, Netflix wasn't exactly ecstatic about the deal back in... Yeah.
No kidding.
We gave all our money and we're not happy about it.
Well, here's what happens when you pay ransoms. Companies know they can charge ransoms.
Yeah, logic. Back in 2014, Netflix CEO Reed Hastings said, while in the short term, Netflix will in cases reluctantly pay large ISPs to ensure a high quality member experience, we will continue to fight for the internet the world needs and deserves.
So now it looks at least like that's what they're doing, along with Riot Games and the New York Attorney General. Things generally get even worse for Time Warner Cable than all that because the lawsuit also claims that they deliberately misled the FCC about their poor speeds.
Yeah, most of that has to do with Time Warner failing speed test standards set by the FCC because most of their customers had old modems incapable of reaching those speeds. However, Time Warner assured the FCC they were in the process of replacing those old modems, so the results weren't going to be accurate. That kept the FCC from including those numbers in its public reports, and then Time Warner, whoopsies, forgot to replace the modems.
Oh, imagine that.
It's on the to-do list, forgot.
Now, during all of this, Time Warner continued to advertise itself as a great service provider for gamers. Because of that, the Attorney General is seeking a $5,000 fine for every instance that promise was made since 2012, which would mean print, online ads, TV commercials, and radio. That's gonna add up quick.
Yeah, Time Warner Cable reportedly spent $245 million on advertising in 2014 alone, according to a report from Click on Esports. So when you add all that up over 5 years, it could be a ridiculously huge fine for the company.
And then on top of all that, the Attorney General wants compensation to be paid out to all of Time Warner's customers in the state of New York. Everywhere else too, please.
Yeah, seriously. For Time Warner Cable's part, well, they got bought out by Charter Communications in a $55 billion merger. So it's not really their problem anymore, but new owner Charter isn't too happy about the new lawsuit, as you can imagine.
What's with all these new mega owners getting stiffed by the companies they just bought?
That's like buying a car
Oculus.
and then it comes with a lawsuit on it.
Yeah. In a statement released to New York Magazine, Charter said, "We are disappointed that the New York Attorney General chose to file this lawsuit regarding Time Warner Cable's broadband speed advertisements that occurred prior to Charter's merger." Like, you can't sue us for anything that happened before.
Yeah, doesn't work that way.
No.
Yeah, the company went on to say, Charter made significant commitments to New York State as part of our merger with Time Warner Cable in areas of network investment, broadband deployment, and offerings customer service, and jobs.
Translation? Come on, bro, I thought we were bros.
Yeah.
We'll just have to see how this whole lawsuit plays out, and more importantly, whether or not more ISPs try to stiff gamers with port latency on purpose. With the whole debate about net neutrality and the fact that it may or may not be getting gutted, this could be an interesting time to live in for internet people. Are you an internet people?
Yeah.
I'm an internet people. Are you an internet people?
I'm such an internet people. So, what do you internet people think of Time Warner Cable allegedly screwing over gamers? Let us know in the comments.
And for more news about ISPs, video games, and how they can affect the fact that you lose your games, like this video and subscribe to The Know. Actually, you know how few, so we have the dial-up modem connection sound is one of our intro sounds. The number of people who don't know what that sound is staggering.
Do they know what that symbol is for save is on games? That's a little like square.
Yeah, it's a save icon. I've had Teddy, Bernie's youngest, actually held the floppy disk and was like, "Why do you have a save icon?"